We started our journey with Last Planner, and we established a relationship with Jason to learn more about Takt Planning about 2 years ago is when we started the whole thing. On the business strategy side, I'm responsible for implementation of a lot of these initiatives and programs, and then I'm also kind of a data analytics guy, so I've been keeping track of what's the performance and what does it mean to the business on the business side of things as well, because while we're interested in the whole, if you think about it that way, and that's another lean concept, right? Don't optimize the parts, try to optimize the whole and figure out where you need to go from there. Now, I'm going to share my screen, Jason. I pulled a couple of slides up just to let you know about our philosophy and how we built this. And you'll see where both the Last Planner system and Takt fit into what we are doing here at O'Shea Builders. This is part of a presentation that I gave to AGC in a webinar a couple of months ago. We take the approach that we need to build up, and you basically need to earn your way along this approach to lean, with the foundation being the respect for people. And we spend a lot of time developing our people in our organization to give them the leadership skills and the management skills that they need. And, we teach them how to facilitate meetings. And with your Last Planner implementation or with a Takt implementation, the biggest pivot that we have seen from the field that's required is that the field needs to move from a directive mindset to a facilitative mindset with your meeting structure, and trying to teach your teams that of how do they lead through influence and how do they lead through asking questions and getting input. So you got to build your people first, and that's the foundation of the whole thing. The second piece then is you got to create a stable environment for them to perform in, and that's really where the Last Planner system of production control comes into play. It is an entire system that sets up a series of extremely valuable conversations. In addition to that, it gives them a way to triage the various issues so that the team can see the whole of what the problem is, right? Instead of thinking about their one part that they're dealing with, they think about and are able to see with visual management cues what the status of the entire project is. And, we really encourage the superintendents to basically get out of their mind what their idea is and get it on a piece of paper, right? Make it visual so people can see it. And now people can start to give you input to improve whatever the idea is. After you get the stable environment, then you can really start to focus on reducing waste and variation. You start to see it because you've got the stable environment, it's predictable, and now you've created some time that you can look around. And we've got our motto, our slogan is keep it safe, keep it clean, keep it lean. We've got a series of things that we set aside for jobs as standards that identify each of the 8 wastes, and we think about the waste train, and I'm sure Jason will teach you more about that in this class as well. But now, once we've started, we've got the stable environment, we can start to reduce the waste and variation. Now we've set the stage for the flow and the predictability. I've got the ability to move now, and that's really where the Takt Planning piece is really where you can accelerate what you've done with the Last Planner system. And then finally, your continuous improvement cycle up here, where now you can start thinking about kitting and prefab and doing some of your other 5S activities. So we talk about our jobs, and every job as we set them up, we need to earn our way up this lean approach. Another job, we start over with respect for people. We learn about our trade partners and try to manage them up, get them involved in the process. We start with Last Planner system. If we've got a team that's a little bit more advanced, we may start day one with a Takt plan because the team is able to move with that. But we highly recommend using the Last Planner system, set up that series of conversations so you can build those competencies and then you can move from there. I'm going to move to this slide that I've done some measurement on this, and these are 5 projects that I just wanted to highlight the measurement of what not only the Last Planner system, but also as we've introduced Takt, what it's done to our organization and for our company. You can see that these 5 projects, there's a K-12 commercial project and then some healthcare projects, but you can see that from basically the proposed schedule and what we were able to accomplish, we had anywhere from a 9% improvement or 7% improvement to an 18% improvement in the schedule. So that's kind of staggering when you think about it. If you had a schedule that was a year long and you had an 18% improvement on it, you're lopping 2 months off of the schedule. We had one project in here that was a projected schedule before we started Takt, and this was the first project that we did Takt on. It was going to be 11 months, and we were about to deliver the project in 7 months. And the owner said, "Hey, can you slow down?" Because they didn't anticipate having the job done that quickly. So we actually pulled the throttle back on that job and we said, okay, let's get the right crew sizes in here so we can coast into the finish. And it's really just been a game changer for us and for our trade partners. And if you look in the right column right here, as far as what that has been for the margin on those jobs, so this is the gross margin on those jobs. And when I say, for example, it's a 1.7% increase, that means that the gross margin went, for example, from 8 to 9.7. You know, from a percentage standpoint, that's almost a 25% increase in margin on these jobs. So some are smaller gains, but from a business standpoint, this has been a super impressive game changer for us. I was tracking in 2019 before we really got Last Planner and Takt hardwired into our system, our cost of revenues or our cost of contracts was about 94% of our gross revenue. And I just looked this basically year to date in 2022, our cost of contracts is down to 90.4%. So we have reduced our cost of contracts by 3.5%. And if you're familiar with your income statement of how that flows through, that's all dropping to the bottom line for us. And, you know, in this day and age of we've got restricted manpower, we've got flat productivity in the industry, and we've got these razor thin margins that we're working on right now. Last Planner and Takt, I cannot encourage you to come up with a plan on how do you implement this in your organization and how you start to move forward with it, because it's a game changer on the personnel side of things. It has changed the culture on our jobs. Even our trade partners say, your jobs are different. We don't show up and fight about things. We're not yelling at each other. We have a philosophy that we try to move our jobs from controlled chaos to calm predictability. And that's a huge morale boost for the people in the field. It's great for our owners because we are delivering projects, and, you know, basically with a soft landing early, usually ahead of schedule and below budget. And then ultimately it's dropping dollars to the bottom line for us. So if you want to look at the triple Indy, you know, the win-win-win for everybody, these two ideas really complement each other and how they're embedded in here. It's been great for us. It's been a great ride. Jason's been an integral part of this for us as well. So I want to give him kudos. I think Spencer's on here as well. And Spencer's been done great work for us. And I want to thank both of them. Enjoy the journey, learn what you can today. And if this is the first step, hopefully you've got, you know, if you get half of the success that we've had, you're going to really enjoy the ride. And it's going to make a huge difference for you and your company.